Hundreds have signed up to be counting agents for the three presidential candidates on polling day. Among them are more than 300 deployed by Mr. Tan Kin Lian. According to documents seen by CNA, they have been tasked to collect voting data across the various counting centres. It's believed the move is an effort to assess boundary adjustments for future elections. It's unclear if the counting agents for the other candidates are doing this as well. Lauren Ong with more.
Singaporeans head to the polls to elect their next president on Friday after more than a decade. Heading to the counting centres after are counting agents, whose main role is to observe the counting of votes and ensure it is carried out properly. A guide sent to Mr. Tan's supporters tasks his counting agents to do more than this. It was sent to a WhatsApp group for his supporters, who can join via an invitation link posted on Mr. Tan's Facebook page. They've been tasked to note the number of votes for each candidate and how many are rejected. These are results that will be announced by the Assistant Returning Officer at the various counting centres. According to the Elections Department, counting agents may keep track of the number of votes received by the candidates and are not disallowed from sharing this with the public if it's after the close of polling. But under an oath of secrecy that has to be signed by all counting agents, there are rules to abide by that, for instance, prohibits them from sharing how a voter has voted. Mr. Tan was recruiting counting agents on his Facebook page as early as last week. Those interested can sign up online under a Google form titled the 2023 Presidential Election Transparency Initiative. Its description says those who sign up not only uphold democracy, but also provide invaluable data that will be shared publicly. It says this will allow an educated assessment of boundary adjustments for future elections. CNA understands that the same people behind a similar effort during the 2011 presidential election helped Mr. Tan with his recruitment drive. CNA sought to establish Mr. Tan's part in this.
Mr. Tan, why are you asking counting agents to collect voting data?
I will skip that.
In a spreadsheet that CNA has seen, information collected by more than a dozen counting agents during the 2011 presidential election were compiled. It broke down how the results were split by polling district. According to the blog post that posted this data set, these numbers were used to deduce which residents would more likely vote for the opposition. Calls for volunteers to be Mr. Tan's counting agents were also sent to those affiliated with opposition parties, including the Progress Singapore Party and the Singapore Democratic Party. The Workers' Party says it does not call upon its members or volunteers to assist Mr. Tan in any official capacity and does not endorse any presidential candidate. PSP also insists it doesn't endorse any candidate, despite founder Tan Ching Bok's public backing of Mr. Tan. For now, Mr. Tan's team says they've recruited enough counting agents, but are still short on polling agents. His opponent, Mr. Ng Kok Song, though, welcomes more help.
Many members of the public have very kindly come forward to me and said, Mr. Ng, can we help you? So I've asked my campaign team to respond to all these, even requests to help me.
Another candidate, Dharman Shanmugaratnam, says his team has been working on this.
Well, we've been trying our best to get as many volunteers as possible. So we've been trying our best. We've been working at it for several weeks.
This year's presidential election will see over 200 counting centres and more than 1,200 polling stations. More than 2.7 million Singaporeans are eligible to vote on 1st September.